So for this topic, this is the most critical part about cubic equation. So in the factorization of or solving of a cubic equation, we make use of the remainder theorem. So we make use of a remainder theorem, and then we make use of our long division to eventually factorize a cubic or solve a cubic equation. Okay, so I'm going to apply my factor theorem by in a trial and manner method. So if you look at this cubic equation, so this one is the cubic equation. So you should look at the last number. So look at the last number. Look at the factors of 24. So look at the factors of 24. And then you will try to put in the x based on the factor. So there is a factor 1, so I'll be trying x equal to 1 or minus 1. There is a factor 2, I'm going to try 2 and minus 2. Factor 3, I'm going to try 3 and minus 3. So what do we mean by we try? So I'm going to do a F1. Okay, you do a F1. You just punch calculator. You do a F minus 1 by punching calculator. Then you continue to do. You do until the one that can give you a 0. Because when you get a 0, that is a 0 remainder. So you don't have to show your trial and error. So it's more like you punch calculator. So the presentation will be like this. So you do it by trial and error. So in this case, right, I will be getting a 0 if I put in a 2. So therefore, x minus 2 is a factor. So if you're wondering how I get x minus 2, so look at this portion. This is x equal to 2. You work backwards, you will get the x minus 2. That means this x minus 2 is a divisor. So, and this divisor actually gave you a remainder 0. So that is an indication that it is a factor. So with this being a factor, your next step is to do a long division. So there are more than one methods for doing this. So in this long division, right, this long division method, it can be replaced something by compare coefficient. Okay, so sometimes I use compare coefficient, or there's another method called Horner's method. It depends on what your, or there's another method called synthetic division. Your teacher will teach you a method. You can engage any method for this section, but the long division is the foundation method. So you should be able to, do your long division, blah, blah, blah. Okay, and you must get a 0 because you already know that it is a factor. So in this step, if you don't get the remainder 0, then something will go wrong. That means you already made some careless mistake. Okay, so I will be getting something like plus 5x minus 12. So you do your own long division. So eventually, so still remember, the first time you learn your long division, we realize that there's a relationship. The polynomial is actually a product of the divisor and the quotient. So the dividend, right, the expression inside the long division is a product between the divisor and the quotient. So in this case, you try to factorize as much as you can. So that is the factorized answer. So in the case, right, if you are asked to solve, if let's say you're supposed to ask to solve, all the methods, all the steps are the same, except that after the factorization, you got 3 brackets. So first bracket equal to 0, second bracket equal to 0, and third bracket equal to 0. So answer the question accordingly. Factorize, or your job is to solve. So if your job is to solve, it's just one step more than the factorized part. Okay, so that is the basic idea of how do you factorize or solve a cubic equation.